So, welcome. I'm actually going to give you a tour of the online course, and sometimes this makes it a little easier to navigate through the course. So, you would need to sign in. I have to remember my password, which is always interesting because it changes often. You just sign into D2L, and then you would click on our course. I'm going to use a master course just as an example. So you'll see on the home page of our course that you should check it once a day and the very minimum once a week, because you have things that are due weekly. But if you are to check it, you'll see on the left hand side is the calendar, and the most recent thing that's due is at the top of the calendar, and it'll tell you for the next couple of weeks what is due, so you can maybe start getting those things prepared. Especially if it'll lock at a certain time, but some things open at a certain time and then lock a week later. On the right hand side is the news. I usually keep this updated weekly. I let you know some things going on. I'll write it, and then I'll also do a little YouTube video where I talk to you and remind you of some things. It's always good just to read that and to listen to that video. It's just like if we were in class and I had some things I needed to let the class know. Now, across the top is always a good way to find things. There's the course home, which is that first page. There's a content folder, which is what we see in the content browser here. Sometimes people find that easier to navigate. See that start here and weekly modules. And there's a discussion where all of this discussion board topics, which are pretty much most of your assignments besides the quizzes, are. There's the Dropbox folder. There's only one assignment that you have due in the Dropbox folder, but also you would send your proof of going to see the performances there and proof of extra credit, that type of stuff in Dropbox. If you click it, you'll see that there. And if you know there's a quiz due, you can just go straight to quizzes and click on it. Or sometimes students like to just go to quizzes and see is there something due. It will say at the top of the screen. This shows past quizzes. It'll show a current quiz, and you should take it when you see it. If you see a quiz, go ahead and take it. You have, for the most part, with the exception of the global assessment quiz, you have more than one opportunity to take a quiz, so it's better to take it and see how you can improve. But even if you just take it just because you see it, you'll at least get those points. But if you say, oh, I'm going to take it later, and you forget, then you lose all of those points for that quiz. And then other information. Now, of course, we don't use attendance. Most of these things we don't use, but if you need it, for instance, to look up who your group is, you would click there. And then if you needed to look up maybe a link that you know is around somewhere, you could click here. Rubrics. The rubrics for each assignment are there. And then your user progress is there. It just reminds you, lets me know as well if you've been here, what you've been doing. And that's also in the class list, which of course you wouldn't need. Your grades are available there. And then now I'm going to change this course. This is based on how I see it, but I'm going to change it to student view because I know you see it a little bit different than I do. But nonetheless, all of those things that I just named are still there, with the exception of on the top left side, you see you just have your class list and your grades because that's all you need, which is why it reminded me to go to student view, but all the other things would still be there. So if you were to start here, which is where you should start, and then go to first things first, you're going to take a online readiness assessment. You need to take this. You'll log in and take it. And then there's just a module here that has pretty much everything you need to start the class. It has your Read First document, your syllabus calendar. You can always refer back to first things first. And then this course tour is here. So if you've gotten this far, then you should know that. Okay. Also in the Start Here are the course policies. So if you ever have a question about policies and procedures, you could go to the description of the course. Pretty much everything that's in the syllabus is broken up in the policies and procedures and resources. Information about the box office, student support services, tutoring and academic support, accessibility statements for technology. If you're disabled and you need to know about specific things, you could click there. And then because we do an Animoto video, the Animoto privacy policy is also there. So all of that information is just good to have if you just need to refer back to. It's not something you need to read all of it straight through, with the exception of if you haven't read the syllabus. Then if you read this instead of the syllabus, you would get all of the same information. But you should definitely read your syllabus, which is where? In the First Things First, soft chalk. So as you can see, most things in this class are based in soft chalk, meaning I've put them in just a prettier way to do the class, and it just makes it easier for you to navigate. So you can just, for instance, if you were to go through the First Things First, you could click through the pages, and it has your read first document, and then it has your syllabus and so on and so forth, your course calendar, the tour, and what you would need to succeed. So you could just kind of go through it like you would a syllabus, everything you would need to know, but just in an order that makes it easier for you. And pretty much, like I said, everything in this class is based like that. Except for, this is my exception here, the graded assignments and rubrics. This again is a great resource for you to refer back. So you have a Minute Post every week. If you just wanted to start off and look through the Minute Post guideline there, you could download it and then know how to do it on week 1, and then if you needed to ever refer back, you could. Same thing once you get to the Animoto video and the first required event. The second required event is the global the prompt for that one. The 1107 global assessment prompt is for the actual performance, the global performance. And then the global assessment is the actual quiz that I just showed you, and so it gives you information about what is expected of that, and really just easy info. So again, if you had questions about anything, you can always refer. This is a great way to refer back. Final exam information, always refer here if you need that stuff. Extra credit information, it's all here. Okay, so now from week to week, so now you know where everything is if you just have questions about almost anything. Otherwise, you can always go to discussions and click on frequently asked questions. You would start a thread, and then if someone has the answer because maybe they read that and you for some reason didn't, they can respond to that, or you can respond if you know the answer. I check these and just kind of check and make sure that they're correct, and respond if I need to. It's important that you put your questions here because you might have the same question someone else has. So it's not useful for you to email it to me because I won't respond, or I'll respond and tell you to come here. It's best to put it here because so that we can work as a group. We work as a unit in this course. So we help each other, and just for you and me both, it's not useful for me to continue to have the same question asked 3 and 4 times when it can be answered in one place and you already know. Or if you're about to ask it and you can look and see that it's already been answered. So that's where you would put the questions. If you have something very specific for me about your grade or something, you're always welcome to email me. In here is the best place to email me because when I get that alert in here, I can go to the quiz or to the discussion or to the Dropbox and see what you're asking me about. But if you email me through the Kennesaw email, it's going to take me a little bit longer to respond. Remember, I always have 48 hours to respond. I know that seems like a lifetime when you have a very specific question, but again, that's why it's important that you check in here every day. If you have a specific question about something that's in the course and you put it in the frequently asked questions, it's usually responded to in a couple of hours. However, again, even if worst case scenario, which this has never happened, it took 48 hours to respond. Well, if you checked on day one and you realized that there's something that didn't make sense, then 2 days later it's responded to. You still have 5 more days to do the assignment. But if you try to do the assignment on the very last day and then you have a question, it's not going to be worth your while to email me, because I'm not going to be able to respond as quickly as you need because you waited till the last minute. And that I just have to really reiterate how important it is not to procrastinate in this course. That's a great reason why. Another reason is a lot of times what happens with technology, we all know, is that sometimes it just doesn't do right. So there's a lot of technological things that happen for this course, not just you being on here, but sometimes I might refer you to another website or different things where you're having to compile things and make it into something technological. Well, if your computer's acting up, your internet's acting up, or the website is acting up, and you wait till the last minute, again, it's not going to be useful for you, because the assignment will close and you won't be able to get it done. But if you work on it from day one, then you can maybe have it ready by day 3. And if it's, at least if there's an issue later on, you can get it resolved in time for before the assignment closes. So let's look at the weekly modules. So if you click on weekly modules, or here, or even in the content, they are literally spelled out week to week. And on our course page, I will have here week 1 or whatever that assignment is for the week. Remember, you can always look at your course calendar and here to keep up. So for instance, this first week, besides doing the welcome, you're going to look at what is culture. So there's plenty of places to find where we are, what is going on, and it's literally listed in order here. So you'll know, what week we're on. So you would click on it. Now for this first week, it is more than most weeks because we're squeezing in the welcome as well as the assignment. So if you were to go to the welcome, which I highly suggest again that you do, because I give you even more information about this course, click on it, and it just has information about me, information about the goals of the course. Again, it's just in order, and this is the kind of thing, it shouldn't take you long to just skim through. Not like your normal weekly assignment. Things that, great ways to succeed, important resources, and then there's a video where I welcome you. And that's how every module will look. Again, this first week is a little extra because you'll do that welcome, and then you have to take these 2 quizzes to stay in the course. Make sure that you take them. Again, you'll find them there. You'll find them over here, and you'll find them in the quiz section. So the main issue for week 1 is what is my culture. You would click on that soft chalk and you would just navigate your way through. You can click page 1, page 2, but also at the bottom, if you click actually on the soft chalk, you can move it up and down and see there's, of course, next page, previous page. So you can click there as well. Some people prefer to just print it. That's a lot of paper. That's why I like to have everything here, but I understand if that's the type of person you are. You just click through it and you would go to the next thing after you did the soft chalk. You can click that way as well. Of course, you'll always have a minute post. It gives you the information on what the minute post is here. You're going to do a voice thread for your very first minute post. All that information is in the week 1 module. And again, it's here, the VoiceThread. It gives you information on how to do it and where it, and then there's a video on how to do it. There is a video information on, this is a PDF, which sometimes are embedded on how to do it. And then there's the actual VoiceThread. You'd sign in and you'll add on to the VoiceThread. Again, you can click on that, and I've done the first one and to kind of help you through it. So week 1 is a little bit more than most weeks. Again, if you can make it through week 1, you'll be great, because the others, there's information. There's a lot of information because we got to jam pack a lot of stuff into an online course. But it's interesting and fun information. So I always tell my students, this is, if you're looking for an easy A, that's one thing, but you will definitely not be able to get a lazy A in here, because you have to stay focused. Come and do the information every week. You would click on the soft chalk, navigate your way through it. See, it even has the contents on this one and what's on each page. There's usually no more than 20 pages of information in the soft chalk, sometimes 8 to 10. And most of the time, the first page is just a picture. Then the learning objectives, the guiding and focus questions, information on what you need to do for the week, and then there's information as to what the week is about. There's a video for the week. Sometimes there's more than one video, but then there's often videos about the week as well embedded. So all the information that would be that if we were to be face to face that I would discuss in class is just encapsulated in the soft chalk, so that you can navigate through it, you can look through it, you can read through it, you can look at the videos, you can click on the PowerPoints, you can usually as a PDF, you can click on the PDFs, you can click on the outside links. Everything you pretty much need is here. And then it usually ends with the sources. So I think this is just a good way to kind of get started. You can see, and then of course I always put the minute post in with that week, and all of the information for the minute post comes up as well. You can also find this minute post in the discussion boards, and they are the salon is where you would put information for each other if you want to get a ride to the play or something like that, or tell someone about a great play that maybe you've seen. This is where, and again, all this stuff is in the weekly module. So if you click on the week, you'll get to it one way or the other. Final, and see the minute post are again in order here. If you have any questions, again, the best place to put them is the frequently asked questions. If you have a specific question for me, you can email me directly, and just make sure that you follow the weekly modules. Make sure that you click on the soft chalk, you go through it, you click on all of the links, the PDFs, you read what you should be reading. For instance, most of the, there is a PDF of the textbook. I've made it even that much easier for you. And it is also in the soft chalk. So you can read it there. You can download it there. Maybe you want to put it on your tablet or your phone and read it while you're just out and about. But this is all in this place, the soft chalks. So as you can see, it's pretty much everything that I would have discussed in class. There are multimedia links available there. You would click on throughout There are YouTubes again, and most of them you would click on to give you more information. And then there's a lecture video attached to each one, at least one lecture video for each one, and the sources. So good luck with the class. If you have any more questions, where do you put it? Yes, again, in the frequently asked questions discussion board. I hope this answers all of your questions you have for now, and good luck.